Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Tucker Family Adventures. We're kind of in this in-between stage of, I guess what we consider season 1 and what's ready to be the beginning of season 2. As soon as this corona-apocalypse pandemic thing lifts off. So we're right around the corner, what it sounds like, of everybody's stay-at-home orders to finally go away. And we figured we'd take this opportunity to kind of do a year in review. Kind of a little recap of season 1. Some of our top 5s. Top 5 places we've been, top 5 places that we'd go back to, that we want to share it with you.
Some memorable moments.
Memorable moments, we've got plenty of those. So while we're hanging out here in grand old Branson, Missouri, come along with us, we'll share our list with you. So we thought we'd kick this off with our top 5 favoritist places that we've been to. And we had a lot of places we've been to. It's hard to remember, so we're smart this time. We got notes. So,
Handy dandy notepad.
To kick this off, we're gonna start you off with
number 5.
So number 5 was a tie. It was the only one that we couldn't really agree on, and that was Santa Cruz and the Keys
and Monterey area. So we did that little Santa Cruz Monterey area in one shot there in California, which I really enjoyed. It even made the top 5 list because of the area, the overall area, the vibe. We liked it. I mean, we liked the beach scene. Don't get me wrong, I do. I know I do. She liked it. Monterey is a really cool town. Santa Cruz is a really cool town. I like the beach towns. But the Keys were cool also. I mean, to have, you know, 2 different oceans on each side, the lifestyle there. Totally enjoyed our time at the Keys, and we couldn't come to an agreement on which one made it, so it was a tie.
Number 4.
Mount Rushmore.
Mount Rushmore made number 4, and let's be clear, it's not because of the monument.
Right.
The monument was cool.
It was, but you know, it's like you see it in a book, you know.
It was it.
Yeah.
I mean, about every picture you've seen of Mount Rushmore,
It's about what it was.
that was it. It's about all we really get to see because they're doing a bunch of construction on the rest of the monument. We can't get that close. I mean, it was cool to see. Don't get me wrong. We did enjoy that.
It was the second largest KOA.
That's what sold it.
Yes.
The KOA was fantastic. I mean, the things that were available for families, whether they be kids or teenagers, adults, the whole 9 yards, that was a KOA that we would love to go back to.
And you don't even have to go anywhere when you're there. You've got the store, you've got the restaurants, you got things to do. You can just stay there the whole time.
Very easily could spend a long time there. But that was our favoritist campground, I think. Favoritist? I don't think it's really a word, but we're going to use it a lot, I have a feeling.
Number 3.
San Diego.
San Diego, California. Really cool city, okay? There was so much more there at San Diego. I mean, we only saw, the zoo, the safari park, SeaWorld, the drive time in between. Now, I'm not a fan of California traffic. Not a fan of Southern California traffic, but San Diego is a cool city.
It was so much fun. And the zoo was so big that we didn't even get to finish doing the whole zoo.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'd like to go back and maybe try to do that.
Yep.
Number 2.
Yellowstone.
Yellowstone National Park. Super, super cool national park. There's so much to see there. Those of you that have been know exactly what we're talking about. Those of you who have not been are missing out.
Hopefully one day you'll get a chance.
Oh, you need to make the effort somehow to go check it out. There are things there at that park you just don't find anywhere else. Things that even the pictures that you've seen
are not justice for what you actually
seeing
see
it in real life. That's exactly right. So that made our number 2 spot. We would totally go back to that. And just for the record, all of these top 5 spots are all places we would love to go back to and planning on go back to at some point. But to wrap this list up, number 1 was
the Balloon Fiesta.
International Balloon Fiesta. That was super cool.
Number 1, yes.
Number 1 spot. And
everybody should, do it.
It's
Once
tough to
in
get
a
into.
lifetime bucket list, you know.
Seeing that many hot air balloons, and honestly, I mean, I may have seen 1 or 2 hot air balloons in my life just by chance in the air, not counting TV, pictures, you know, nothing like that, but in real life. And then to see that many balloons taking off, and from people from all over the world that have gathered around for that overall festival, was phenomenal.
Not just as many balloons, but the many different colors, the different shapes, the different characters, just different everything.
It was lively, very much lively, and very eclectic for the group of people that were there. It's tough to get into, it's tough to get to see, but if you get the opportunity, I mean, you got to check it out. So that is our top 5 places of what we've seen thus far. Season 1, year 1, whatever you want to call it, top 5. And to throw into this mix, we put together a top 5 list of places that we definitely want to return to. Now, what makes this list, what qualifies to be on this list, is these are places that we left feeling like
we didn't get to see enough of.
And we didn't do enough, or you know, we ended up learning
of places to go to or go see after we were getting ready to leave. Or
now, granted, it goes without saying that our top 5 favorites list that we had, those are guarantees to go back to. These would be considered more of the honorable mention top 5. We definitely want to make it back and spend some more time, you know, seeing and experiencing the area. And to kick this list off,
Number 5.
Bryce Canyon.
Bryce Canyon.
Bryce Canyon was really cool. We did, I think, what, one hike?
One hike, yep.
One hike in Bryce Canyon. And at the time, we were starting to get a little canyoned out. You know, I mean, we had...
And it was getting colder.
Yeah, it was. The temperature was dropping, and it took away the fun and the excitement from the kids' perspective. I mean, we probably could have been just fine with the temperature getting a little bit colder, but the girls weren't digging it quite as much. But the overall design and structure of what Bryce Canyon was something very different than the rest of the canyons we had been to. So, aside from the fact that we got to see Wall Street there at Bryce Canyon, super cool. You know, I totally dig that. I think there's much more that we could have explored and experienced at Bryce Canyon.
Number 4.
Mesa, Arizona, and surrounding areas. So not just Mesa, we're talking Phoenix, we're talking Scottsdale. You know, what we got to see when we branched out outside of Mesa, you know, was some cool parts of the town, and I think Phoenix has some cool things to offer that we'd like to actually spend some time and go back and hang out there for a little bit. You know, never mind the fact that, you know, Lacey's got family in the area. That's always a, you know,
plus
a bonus as well too. But it helps to know some people in the area that can say, hey, while you're here, you know, you should go see this and you should go see this. You know, people are gonna love that.
Or just take you around to see, you know, different areas and what there is and exploring.
So Mesa was cool. Yeah, I think that'd be a neat spot to spend some more time in.
Number 3.
San Francisco.
San Francisco. Now, San Francisco is a really cool city. We did experience quite a few things in San Francisco, and we had a fun time. Those of you that have seen that episode will recall that we lost a lot of time with Athena's issues we were having, and with her being sick, and then, you know, eventually her having to be put down there in San Francisco. So we lost a lot of time that we had scheduled to see things in the area. You know, and the San Francisco area is not cheap. California isn't cheap in general, but San Francisco area is not cheap at all. So that kind of started eating more into our budget for the overall trip, and we had to cut out of there after a couple of weeks of hanging out. But we did leave the area wishing that we could have seen more and done more that we had wanted to do. So it definitely hits the number 3 spot on the list of places we really would like to go back to and see some more, do some more, and even do some of the things all over again. You know, Madame Tussauds.
2, please. At George next.
love to do that one all over again.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
Number 2.
Miami, Florida. Miami may be kind of surprising to some of you because it's Miami. Those who are from Miami know that they love Miami. But Miami is a different sort of city with a different sort of people, and that's a different sort of group. I mean, they were kind of fun. Miami had some cool things. The campground, which was a encore campground.
Trails. It was a good campground. It had a lot to offer for the kids, but
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
We had a good time in the campground. We only saw a few things in the Miami area, but there was so much more that we knew of that I'd like to see, especially the Miami beaches. I know the Miami nightlife is something totally different than the day life, and not that we'd experience much of it with the kids, but there's plenty of things that the kids would enjoy for Miami during daytime. Wrapping this list up at number 1.
Number 1.
The Gulf Coast.
Gulf Coast, Florida. I mean, we're talking Pensacola, we're talking the Clearwater area, even going back down into the Tampa, Sarasota, Bradenton, down into Naples. That whole stretch, everywhere around there, we would like to spend some more time in that area and really
see some beaches, get out and venture out. I mean, I feel like we did a lot coming up to our Florida stay that we just kind of felt like we just needed to hunker down and stay in a little bit and not do as much, but I think that there was so much more that we needed to go out and see and do and explore.
So there you have it. That's our top 5 places that we definitely would like to go back to. So having top favorites and top 5 lists and all that is great and all, but what about memorable moments? Most memorable moments of the trip. And we've had a few. I bet I know what her number 1 is.
The loss of Athena.
Yep, that's memorable for sure. What else we got? Thumb? The chopping off of the thumb there in Albuquerque.
The first night that we got there.
Yep, first night.
Gonna have a fire and
that
first
be,
fire of the whole trip too.
That'll be something that I remember forever.
Yeah.
What else we got for? How about
Scarlett falling into the
little river there? Yep,
in
that
the
was
falls.
at
Yosemite,
where she slipped in the fall there.
We also lost the drone there.
Oh yeah, that's right. I crashed the drone trying to film the waterfalls. That was rough. Oh, let's not forget the whole running out of gas.
2 miles. That's how close I was to that exit. 2 miles.
You know, I'm always mentioning, do you have enough gas? Do you need to stop and get gas? Got gas?
Yep.
And it's always, oh yeah, I'm fine, we'll make it. Okay, so him, you know what? That's his fault.
You know, that stretch going into Santa Fe was a pretty long stretch coming out of Colorado there. You know, I know locations and towns and stuff are stretched out pretty far apart, you know, in that part of the country. But I was certain we were going to come across a gas station.
Oh, and to top it off, we didn't have a gas can.
Oh yeah. Let's not forget, you know, I had to borrow the gas station's gas can, and then it blew out the truck, and then the semi-truck drove over it, and
it just disappeared.
If you haven't seen that episode, you feel free to check that one out. You know, I'll link it here for you. Yes. What about our first stop? If you guys remember this one, our first stop in Mountain Hood. We were at on the Alpine slide.
At the ski bowl.
Lacey and Aubrey were going down on the toboggan and all that, all super fast.
Trying to film, you know, and.
Okay, this is scary. This is scary.
Yeah, we crashed.
We
totally crashed.
Yep. What are some other good memorable moments here? You know, Disney World's memorable. But you know what, not because of Disney World. I mean, Disney World is Disney World, right? I mean, that's going to be memorable for anybody. Disney, Universal, all that. But that's memorable because we will never forget the crowd that was at that park for almost every day that we were there.
That was ridiculous.
Magic
and I
Kingdom.
get like it's magical and whatever. And why does everybody want to go there on Christmas and Christmas Eve?
It's the most
You
magical
should be
time of
home
year.
with your families, not at Disney World.
Says the one who was at Disney World for Christmas.
Because my family was far away. Or I would have been with my family.
Oh, and then some of the animal encounters that we've had. Like San Diego when we did the giraffes, feeding the giraffes, that was worth it. And then, what are you guys doing? Kids playing in the background of the playground. Yeah, we got the whole KOA here to ourselves. There's not a single other camper here. I think there's one that came in. We got the playground to ourselves.
The lemurs were for sure.
Yep, the
one.
lemurs.
You can't have an encounter with lemurs anywhere like we did.
Absolutely. Not that we found, anyways.
Yeah.
You know, thus far in the U.S. To find an opportunity to be able to interact with and hold lemurs is really cool. I've always liked lemurs. Always cool checking them out, watching them at the zoos, but never have we had a real opportunity to interact with them. So that one we'll remember forever.
And the kangaroos.
That was what I was thinking of. Giraffes and the kangaroos. Giraffes we did a few times. Kangaroos were cool. You know, the girls remember that one, I think, for sure.
We get to feed kangaroos and those baby ones.
And the wallabies and the kangaroos, and they were very pleased to see us.
And they also have babies in a little pouch down on the bottom.
Some of them do.
You know what? I think one of my most memorable moments thus far of the trip has been observing and watching this one's reactions to the assorted wildlife we've come across in our travels.
You should see them move. We got a bison. You gotta stop. Hold up.
Hi, bison.
Honey, hold on. I'm over here. This manatee's cooler than your fish. Sorry. I'm looking for alligators over here. Don't mind me.
She
You
gets
don't
excited.
get to see them unless you're like looking through magazines. You're like, oh, cool, there's a bison, you know. But seeing them up close and personal and just, you know, trotting beside the truck like it's nothing, you know, it's just, it's so cool to see it. Alligators, you know, everybody thinks they're just so scary, but if you leave them alone, you're good to go.
Yeah, I mean, it is cool to see them in the wild too, instead of just in zoos. But I mean, her reactions, priceless. She gets pretty excited about some of those.
I do.
You know, the trip in general has been memorable, but these are some of those key ones that stand out for
And
good.
not just that, it's like, you know, Aubrey and I were talking this morning and she's going back and saying, Mom, can we go back to Oregon and go do the ski bowl? So, you know, a lot of things, you know, are very memorable for them too.
They may not be able to timestamp them very well, but they're retaining.
They are.
Scarlett,
Yeah?
come here. Come here. If you look back on every place that we've been to in our whole travel, okay? From when we left Bellingham all the way up until now, all the different places that we've been to. What is one of your most favorite things that you've been able to do so far?
A park?
A park?
Playing at a park?
Of all the places we've been to, the park is the most favoritist thing you've done.
Yes.
We've been to places like Disney
And
World.
water slides. And a bouncy pillow?
Bouncy pills like the KOAs. Anything that maybe you can't just find anywhere?
Bryce Canyon.
Ooh, okay. Bryce Canyon, good job. That was a good one.
We've got a lot of badges, which is we don't know where they're at.
I know where they're at. Okay,
He won't tell us.
that's all. You can go.
Thanks.
All right. If you were to think back, now you're gonna tell these guys, and think back all the different places that we've been to on this travel and this journey that we've been to. So many places across this country.
For
We've been a lot more than 4 places. What are some of your favoriteest places that we've been to.
Well, the
Tell them.
the Animal Zoo, Great Wolf Lodge, Disney World, and the air balloon festival.
Oh, the hot air balloons?
The hot air balloons. Those 4 were my favorite, especially that hike, the sledding place that me and Mom fell off.
Oh, the ski bowl in Mountain Hood.
Yeah,
Stop number 1. Okay,
that was fun.
that's what we wanted to know. There you have it. They retained some stuff. I think all in all, we can say that the journey has been phenomenal.
Awesome.
The girls have enjoyed it. We've enjoyed it. You know, I know we're on quarantine, lockdown all over the place, and it's only so much that we can really film here, but 3 weeks of hanging out in Branson, Missouri. It's beautiful here.
Lots of things to do.
There's
if it
nothing
was
open.
But yep.
So hopefully they're talking about opening the place in the town and, you know, lifting the lockdown here next week. Just got our fingers crossed that they're going to do that. But in the meantime, we're looking forward and we're excited for kicking off the next season with you guys. There's lots to see, lots to do. We're going to spend a lot of time in the middle of the country here coming up. And
We got big plans for July, but it's a secret.
Yep, we'll have fun with that one, you guys will see. In the meantime, I think I got some girls around here who usually like to do the, hey, girls, you coming? Oh, there you are. Okay, there you go.
Thanks for watching. Make sure you give us a huge thumbs up. Click the subscribe button. Turn on notifications. See you guys later. Bye. Give us a huge thumbs up. Have your parents do it. Parents do it. Bye,
You heard
guys.
them. Bye, guys. Okay, are you ready? Mind the frame?
Yeah, sure.
Not cheap in the San Francisco area. And how rude. Look, on the
What
trigger.
bird's attacking the squirrel? Sorry.
Yes.
Look! It's the squirrel's running the bird.